This project is stupid. That idea's dumb. They're not gonna get it. But I don't care. Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something.
Why would you change so much? It was just fine as it was. Oh,
Don't stay the same. Copy paste is lame. Don't stay the same. Copy paste is same.
why would you change so much?
Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something. Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something. It does not need to be perfect. It just has to be true. This project's not stupid. I proved you wrong. This project is stupid. That idea's dumb. They're not gonna get it. But I don't care. Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something.
Why would you change so much? It was just fine as it was. Oh,
Don't stay the same. Copy paste is lame. Don't stay the same. Copy paste is same.
why would you change so much?
Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something. Don't try to hold me down. I gotta make something. Don't let me stand around. I wanna make something. It does not need to be perfect. It just has to be true. This project's not stupid. I proved you wrong. This project is stupid. That idea's dumb. They're not gonna get it. But I don't care.
Afternoon all. Hey, good to see you. So 15-second animations. Those of you who know me know I love doing these things. So those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Claire. I'm one of the programmers at MM, and I love doing silly little animations. And I wanted to do this stream because I also wanted to show it's really not hard to do silly little animations, and Dreams is really good for doing these for social media and stuff. So yeah, let's get on with it. First of all, I'm going to show you one of the first silly animations I did in Dreams. Really dumb, really silly, but it was so much fun to make. So we'll start off with this.
Senpai, wait for me, desu! Abunai!
Okay, very silly. It's a riff on the isekai meme for those of you who are anime weebs. It's just kind of funny and easy to put together. So I've done some pre-work here because for those of you who know me, I run over in my morning streams quite often. So what I'd say the first step for doing silly little animations is you can always use the mic on your camera, but any USB mic and cheap mics like this from Amazon will plug into your PS4, and as long as the PS4 picks it up, it'll work as a mic. And that's a really good way to get your sounds in. Another tip that a lot of people don't know, and especially that VR is coming out now, is the PSVR microphone is not only one of the best microphones you can get, there it is there, but it's also perfectly positioned for a good recording, because the most common mistake that amateurs like me make all the time with microphones is we put them in the wrong place, we speak to them in the wrong way, and so we don't get good recordings from them. Hold on, let me just dim this light here. I'm not used to doing them in the afternoon when there's actual sunlight. So that's the first thing I'd say. Right, so now if you're starting a scene, a lot of people, when they do these silly animations, they want to make all the bits for it. And making all the bits is actually really kind of silly because there's so much great stuff on the Dreamiverse and it'll slow you down. So the first thing I usually do is we come up with an idea, something silly, scribble it on a piece of paper. Do I have, I think I do. Which one of these is NDA stuff, house hunting stuff, role-playing stuff. Yes. So this is one of my comic idea things where I just write down a whole bunch of scribbles for comics that I'm working on, things like that. So I'll scribble in here in really bad doodles just a basic layout and maybe some ideas for the words for a thing. It's both how I do comic stuff and it's how I do animation stuff because it's just silly little things. The goal here is to get something, a bit of a chuckle out of it in the end. So I've got a basic sketch here for a potion shop. And so the first stage, just get that character up there. The first stage was to put together a rough potion shop. And I just put together this scene last night. Very quickly, you'll see that this is all just repeated. There's a lot of repetition and I've done some color changes on some of the potions and stuff. I've made sure nothing's physical in the set and scene. But the big tip here is there's nothing in here that I don't need. It looks atrocious when you actually look at it from any angle other than the one we intend. And then I grabbed this character that I've used for an animation before and I just dropped this character in and we're going to be animating this character. So yeah, I've done a lot of prep work before the stream just so we don't have a crazy amount of overrun. Right. So once we've got the scene set up, make sure you do lots of little details to your set. It doesn't have to look amazing just from the camera angle, but like for instance, I grabbed some spider webs because this was a bit too shiny. I knocked this up a bit. I did this little stroke here to put a little thing, and because it's a magical potion shop, I just randomly made this glyph. And yeah, as I said, I dotted some spider webs about the place and just sort of knocked some bits together. Also, lighting, really key. I shoved on a light here and I did a little bit of blur on it just so it's got a shape and mask. And then I did a little action recorder and wiggled it. And I slowed down this action recorder. What this means is between...
Welcome to Bubbling Brew.
Okay, you're going to hear the voice as well. I apologize for that. Let me just turn that off for a sec. And book. Let me turn the power off on the voice acting. Here we go. So, coming into here. So we just have these two lights here that are on these little action recorder things. And the reason for that is you'll notice it just does a little bit of shadow motion and movement. Just keeps things from being flat when we actually get to the animation. Just simple tests like that, like the weeb animation I just showed you. I throw up a bit of fog, a bit of colored fog into the scene and make sure that's got some animation on it, just so it's got a bit of something in the background. It makes your job easier, just generally speaking. So yeah, get your set together, get a character from the Dreamiverse. Now when you grab a character from the Dreamiverse, the first thing I would say, if we go view the cover of the original character here, this lovely Finch character. Okay, so here's the OG character. And what you'll first do, whenever you bring in an asset, I always like to shove on the X-ray gadget. And bring this up. A lot of the characters will be made for making games, and there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that you don't want. Delete the auto guide, delete the sound effects stuff, following logic, delete that. Check out on the controller logic. Sometimes people will put some custom poses and keyframes on here that you can maybe nick and reuse and repurpose. But quite often there'll be things for jumping and running. Just get rid of it. Get rid of the controller logic. The reason for this is you don't want some crazy bit of animation logic messing with you. So here, helpfully, this creator has actually done a whole bunch of animation poses. And there's a run and a jump animation, neither of which we're going to need for our 15-second animation. So we get rid of those. Level complete animation, again, get rid of that. So all we're really left with is these animations. Now they've actually done some really nice mouth animations here for a more detailed and complex animation. I wouldn't go too bonkers with this, especially for short little silly animations. You want to really focus on just getting something in and together. The blink animation is really useful. We'll get into that. Remember, if you ever scope into an animation, you can just quickly see what it's affecting. But yeah, so there, if we just scope into these, you see it's got some quite nice mouth shapes that will maybe make use of somewhat. Now this is a painted on mouth. I really like painted on mouths. They work quite well. Another thing, if I get a character that doesn't have a good mouth going for them and I just need to hack in something for an animation, my go-to trick, oh wait, that's in the stroke, hold on. My go-to trick is to just get into their head, grab the old cutout tool, sample the color, and then I'll come in and, oh my god, is that freaky or what? Wait, was this the cutout tool? Was this the crop tool? It is the cutout tool, good. And usually with like a little sphere, I'll make myself a little cutout. And remember, the cutout tool is basically just cloning and then doing a subtraction or like a crop on both. So then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll do that. And then I'll probably hinge this and I'll do like a flappy jaw. In this case, we don't need it because there's a bunch of others, but that's a quick, easy way to get animation together and start off really quick. Because, as I say, you don't want to fast and finagle. And the best thing about 15-second animation stuff and doing so for social media, and I highly encourage it, you will make a lot of small stuff very quickly. You won't get hung up on it. You'll improve really fast. A lot of the trash you make will just fire and forget. And you can post it to Twitter, to TikTok, to YouTube or whatever. And pretty much no one is going to be upset with watching a 15-second animation. It's a really good place to start. Whereas if you send someone a longer game to play, or you send them like a 4-minute animation, or even just a 1-minute animation, that's a bigger commitment for people. So having a little bite-sized piece of the content you can share out, it's really, really handy, and it'll really level up your skill level quite quickly. Okay, so before we get back on the character, I just want to finish up on the set. make sure when you place your camera in the set that you have everything you need for the camera view. Now by default, most of the stuff in Dreams is set up for games. I generally find you probably want to drop your camera FOV to maybe 40, 45 for a lot of film cameras. You'll tend to find film cameras are a bit further out and narrowed in. It's one of the reasons why selfies often look a bit meh, is because the camera is quite close into you. So for a film camera, generally drop that FOV, bring the camera a bit further out. Also with animations, something I haven't done yet and something I will always bitch about, drop a global settings gadget in the scene and just hide the imp. The imp will be a distraction you don't need. Yeah, so that's just a little thing. Okay, let's get this camera in here. Now, the gag in this scene is going to require some different camera moves. So let's just get this first camera. There can be our opening camera, right? Did I delete the other? I did, didn't I? Oh, hold on. Make sure that this is at the right group level. There we go. I have minimal feedback turned on. Wait, I'd have to actually exit and go to settings. Just know and aware that I don't have all the feedback turned on that you might have. So you'll see me scoping into stuff and stuff won't be getting blurred and grayed out. That's just because for animation, I find it quite useful to be able to see stuff as I scope in and out. Right. So let us get ye old timeline placed down. Right, and we're going for a 15-second animation. There we go, drag that out. Okay, get the voice acting on here. Now, voice acting, some things. We have a 15-second limit now for recording. You are going to probably have to do your VO in multiple small short takes. Just get it in lots of small takes. If you have, so for example, sometimes I'll work with TikTok sounds. TikTok sounds usually are copyright and you should not upload them to our servers. But if you are recording that sound locally on your PS4 and you record it, say twice, because you want to make sure you get the beginning and make sure you get the end and then sort of overlap and line it up. You can then animate using that sound and you can then pull it out. And I'll show you a tip at the end about how to do vertical export for video. But make sure if you do that for any sort of external audio source that you're using, whether it is whatever app it is, don't upload that to our servers. By uploading private content to our servers, if it's copyright, that's naughty. That's where you break the line. But using it on your PS4, you're totally fine for timing the animation and such. But anyway, lots of short sounds. I've put the main character's voice over here. Where is the chip? I've lost the, because I put the chip on the timeline. So there's two characters here. I wiggled this about here. Oh yes, that's right, because this is the okay, turn that on. Okay, all right. The other thing I'll say to you with your animations, this is both for plain animations in Dreams and video exporting animations. Dreams will actually start running your scene during the bokeh transition. This is to avoid any weirdness with initial condition stuff, to let the physics settle for a frame or two, to let the sound come in as that bokeh transition's coming in on stuff. And for games and things, it's generally really helpful. For tightly done animations, it can be a killer for you. So make sure that you leave a bit of a buffer. I've used 2 seconds here at the front, just so you don't miss some of your animation at the start. Also, if you're exporting the animations, put a clap sound in, which we'll do at the end, and a bright light sound or a flash or something on your screen so you can sync the audio, because you might get audio desync issues with different video editing software, things like that, depending what you're doing with your video. Anyway, all that being said, voice acting recorded beforehand very quickly, just with this. You will know how to do that. I'm not going to take you through all that bits and pieces. Drop these down, trim these down. So if you see, this has quite a fat front there that I've just sort of pulled in. So let's run through the audio.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams. Here it is. One instant weight loss tonic. Now the effect should start working instantly, but I'd recommend you wear some time. Oh, not again.
Okay, so the mix isn't perfect there, the volume is not perfect there, but we've got our basic levels and our basic timings in place, and we can get the animation together. So for those of you who don't get the gag is they ask for a weight loss potion, and it's going to make the person float up and fly up. Okay, so we don't want to animate two characters, so we're going to keep it primarily on this character here. We've done the changes before. Again, you'll notice through and through this, I'm a lazy sod when it comes to pretty much anything to do with anything. So I'd like to do minimal effort. So in the animations, what I've done is there's this wonderful blink animation. Is the PS4 a little quiet? Let me turn up the capture card. 1 second. Here we go. Let's see. How's that?
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight.
Okay, that's a little bit loud. Let's turn it down a smidge. There we go. Cool. And go through there. So what I've done, because I'm lazy and I don't want to animate all the blinks, is I've just taken a signal generator. I've done its sweep to 0 seconds. I've done the pause time duration as variable, so it'll just be randomized. And then with the signal manipulator, I've done a pulse on and off. So basically, whenever it flips up and down, it'll pulse. And you'll notice that there's a smooth fall on the signal. So the signal won't be a single frame. It'll be a frame, and then it'll be a bit of a dip. And then that will be the blink animation. So that'll give the character just an idle blink.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews.
Every so often, right? Now, if we had a flappy mouth, animation like I did before, what I'd normally do with flappy mouth animations, sorry, I'm just going to save the anchor position there and save that anchor position there. Let's bring this up so it doesn't take up more room than it needs to. Bring that in because it's just a little bit far out. For some reason, it does, there we go, not want to come in. Here we go, save. Right, coming in there. So what I'll often do is I will often grab the envelope of a sound, and I'll hook the envelope of a sound. So if I'm doing like a flappy mouth or whatever, I'll get 2 keyframes, and I will I'll get 2 keyframes on a timeline. So let's just do a quick flappy mouth for you. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I am quite aware of time. Probably gonna have some time issues, but shh, Tom will forgive me. Tom will forgive me. Animation, so there, and there. Do that. Come into there. Come out to there. So for flappy mouth, what I'll usually do is I'll do something like that. And then I'll wire this into the playhead. And what I'll actually usually do is I'll also usually pass that through a signal manipulator, so that because when you do it this way, you'll notice.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews.
You see, it doesn't really get enough of a Let's just grab that signal manipulator there because I'm too lazy to find a signal manipulator for myself. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, I know I'm going really fast. You can always watch the replay. It'll be fine. Bit of smooth fall's not bad. We don't need to adjust the edge mode, but we do need custom remapping. And what we'll do is, and you can actually do this where you can go, just play it.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight.
Okay.
Sure.
So you can see where it is there, and you can go, okay, drag that down to there, and now that's good enough. And then what I'll do is I'll take all of the character sounds and I will grab all of the envelopes and I'll just wire them all into here, and that'll usually be a really quick way
Welcome to Bubbling
to
Brews.
get a flappy mouth animation going. That's like one of my fastest little hacks, just to get a quick flap mouth going. Hope that helps. Right, but in this case, we've got these wonderful, wonderful mouth shapes, and also we know that we don't have to be super clean about this. We're not going to be naming our keyframes. We're going to be messy as hell. So what I'm going to do is, I could be really intelligent and time all of those, but we're doing 15-second animations. So what we're actually going to be is we're going to be super, super lazy. And we're going to go signal manipulator. First things first, we're going to move this off of here. So this is not affected by this. I probably should have thought this out ahead of time, but we're going to play it by ear. We don't need a signal manipulator, that's complete garbage. What we need is a signal generator. Pop this in here. What we need is the minimum range. We want this to be 1. Maximum, why is that? Thank you. Minimum range, we want that to be, actually no, we want the minimum range to be 0 because I'm a nincompoop sometimes. Maximum range, make that 10. I generally do it with a timeline because sometimes what I'll want to do with a timeline is I'll sometimes want to put in a middle frame or a smear frame on the animation, or I want to do something with the mouth. And if I want to replace out, because that technique that I showed you with the keyframing the flappy mouth will also work if you are drawing the mouth and you have several frames. So I find the keyframe thing just works out better and it scales out better to other formats if I want to do other formats. Active ports. Okay. So here we go. We got 10 active ports. We just wire these up here. Because if you were really pressed for quality, you'd be using the correct mouth sounds and you'd be lining them up. And for high quality animation, this is totally the way to do it. But we're not doing high quality animation because I'm not Pablo, I'm me. So I'm going to just bodge it a bit. So this basically will mean that the mousy mouse
Welcome to Bubbling Brews.
is just talking
potion to lose
constantly.
weight.
Wait, the sweep. We want the sweep to be 0, but we want the pause time to be anywhere between 0.4 and 0.7, I think. Maybe 0.6, 0.3. I'm just feeling it out. I'm not really stressing it about. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about min range. Oh, max range. Huh. Yes. Now we might get unlucky and we might get a case where the exact same frame has happened every time. But
Welcome
now,
to Bubbling Brews.
okay. Mouth is kind of moving, but it's a bit slow. Let's drop this down to 0.1, 0.3.
Welcome to.
Okay, cool. There we go. Now, all we need to do is... Now, what we could do is we could wire in all of these individually, but what we're going to do, because we're lazy, and this is 15-second animations, is we're going to go into the sound gadget. We're going to grab a speaker. We're going to rename the... wait, we want to turn off 3D sound panning, because otherwise that'll cause us trouble. We're going to grab this envelope. We're going to wire it into here. We're going to rename the speaker to... we're going to rename the speaker to mouse or rat. I don't know what the... I think it's a rat. I think it's a rat. And then for all of the tracks where the... for all of the tracks... Actually, what I should probably do is I should probably... Oh, actually, there is a thing for this. There is a thing for this. Show sidebar. Bam! If I do... Oh no, that's only in panorama mode. Never mind. Claire's being a bit silly. There we go. Go to speaker. Okay. Those should all now go out to... Nope. Because I am silly. Oh, that one does. That one does. Mouse, mouse, mouse. Mouse. Okay. So this is a little way to hack it. Where now, whenever those are spitting out into the speaker.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairy.
Oh, I know what's going wrong here. Wait, do I know what's going wrong here?
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose. Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams.
I think I've made a mistake here. It's been a while since I did this method. Let's look at a signal manipulator. Yeah, I was about to say, I think it needs 100% signal. But if you're ever curious about a signal, I love just looking in this range here.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews.
Yep.
Potion.
Yep. So I'm going to do, there's so many different ways you can do this. I'm going to do the easiest way I know, which is if it's greater than 0, because this also lets you reconfigure it later to effectively have a noise floor to avoid when it's too soft.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams. Here it is. 1 instant weight loss tonic. Now the effect should start working instantly. But
Okay, that works out pretty well in terms of the voice thing. Now the next thing that we need to time up is we're going to hand a potion to the character, and we're going to want to get the character to drink it. Now we could get another character from the Dreamiverse. What I've actually done is I've just taken that character's arm and I have made myself a copy of that character's arm. And here it is. And we're going to put it by the camera. Let's line this up. Boop. Don't forget, because we've got different FOVs, we're going to have to pop in and out and just... There we go. Now this doesn't have to be, again, things that are on the screen for a very short amount of time you don't have to care about. You just need to do enough storytelling to... Ooh, okay. Top tip, when working on animations like this, have your audio on a separate timeline so you can depower it, because you're going to get what I just got there, which is you're going to get this horrible sound, and it's going to be a problem. Right. You could have separate keyframes for this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the old power up, power down keyframe trick. So I'm going to drag that in there. And drag that in there. Okay, cool. Keyframe this. We're going to just do that. Do that. Do that. Just so everything is keyframed. Stop. Okay, now that that's unkeyframed, just bring it down like this. And that should do the bits there. And then the other bit that we just need to log in, keyframe. Now normally, as I said, I'm pretty lazy with my keyframes, but one thing I'll usually do is I'll make the camera a different color so I don't lose track of it. Okay, so now you definitely want to keyframe your camera nice and early because you've lined up the shot, and if you're like me, you'll often scope into your camera and you will make mistakes. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's fine there. And then we want to come up to about here. Come up to here. Now we want to smooth in this. Okay, now we want to go into the camera. Okay, because weight loss potion. But now remember, we don't want the person to see outside of what they should see because we've been very lazy with our set. Right, that'll float that up. Okay, now how are we doing for time? Oh my god, yes, we're doing okay for time. We will get the animations hopefully in. Okay, now bear in mind we still need to do our block out animations, which is our next step. But it's good to take a moment, appreciate the basic flow of the thing, and get a feel for the timings. We'll go from there. Let's hop in. Ooh.
Welcome to
Bloop. There we go.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams. Here it is. One instant weight loss tonic. Now the effect should start working instantly.
Okay, camera's
but I'd
wrong
recommend
there.
you wear some time. Oh, not again.
Okay, so we've got some mistakes to fix. The first one is, okay, let's turn off the audio track so we don't get that in our heads constantly. Otherwise you will get so sick of it. Trust me. Okay, so this keyframe, we've already keyframed the camera, and I'm lazy, I don't want to re-keyframe it. So what we'll do, interesting. Why, oh why are you doing the thing you are doing? Okay. Coming into the camera. Sorry. And come out. And we really want it nice and close. Really trying to sell the... There we go. And... Bloop. Okay. Okay, that should be enough to at least sell the effect. right? Because again, we're just trying to sell the effect. We're basically trying to just get the comedy across. Okay, but now we've got that, the first thing to do is to block out our rat character. Rat, mouse, I don't know, I keep on... Chat, is it a rat or a mouse? Rat, right? Right, okay. First deal. Now, remember, whenever you want to position the character, grab the hips. Make sure the character's just generally blocked out and positioned. Sod it. We'll just grab the hips and go for it. Okay. Look at me, please. In the right position, roughly. Okay. So we want that. And then the first sort of big beat is... Hold on.
Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragons.
Okay, so that's the first real big beat. There, we're gonna have the character do a duck under the table. Loop. Oh, no, not that. Thank you. Bend from... Nope. Oh, actually. Ha! When? Okay, probably breaking some kind of animation rule there, but sod it. Actually, no, I need to lower down. Okay, and just have the character sort of looking there. Right. Okay, we'll block this out and then we'll get the rest bit.
Death Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams.
Okay, then we want the moment of sort of Eureka, found it. Twerking shopkeeper, nah, just digging out for the potion bottles. It's all in good fun. Right, now remember, whenever you're doing animations, left L2 does the actual rotation with the greens, and the R2 does the orange. IK and FK, I always get them confused which is which. IK, which is like when you're positioning the hand, will actually do the whole thing. It'll do up to, I think, a 2-joint chain. That'll generally try to keep the position, so if I move this, it'll kind of stick. Whereas FK, if I sort of rotate that up there and then I move that, it's more rigid. I try to use IK a whole bunch just because it makes my life easy. So in this case, we're like, haha, Eureka, we have the potion. But whoopsie, they don't have the potion. Good news, there is a potion over here, but we don't want to make the potion move because making the potion move is work. So we're going to clone the potion. We're going to move it over here. You don't forget that little sound you heard. I scoped out, and now I'm going to scope into the hand. Oopsie. There we go, get the camera in there. Get that there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make that not visible. Except it totally is going to be visible on this keyframe. Right. And what do we want to do with his hand? Okay, it's like, sorry, it's like, here it is. Okay, so I put my hand in front of me. Often just a good thing to do with a thing is just mimic the animation you're trying to make, see what natural motion you do, and then just follow. Have her look, have her look at the potion. We'll do touch up later. Right, we know by this point it needs to be in the player's hand. We're going to do a bit of a cheat there. Come in, and we're going to stretch this out. Make the character do sort of a step forward. Now remember, you step from your hips, so step forward there. I am totally bodging this, but again, bodging is fine. Bodging is fine. Oh, let's go flashy with this. Like, here it is. You can tell I haven't planned out all of these bits. That's fine. I just had a rough idea, and I'm just jamming with you all. Go. And you want the whole yeah, ooh, that's too much head wobble. Always options to recenter your imp, and then just, oh, there's something with the head there that's just sort of, there we go, cool. And looking there. Then immediately after that, on this keyframe, we want to make sure that the bottle is no longer visible. Okay, bottle is no longer visible. Fantastic. And just have the hand withdraw a bit. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a bigger mistake. Go in there. Hand withdraw a bit. Down and delete the animation on that. Bring it in and delete the animation on the leg to bring it back to neutral. And delete the animation on the head. Okay, right. Go through there, so that's the bottle. And then we know at the end here, the character's going to want to be... so from this angle here, the character's going to want to be looking... Ooh, character's going to be wanting to look up at thing and oh, not again. Yeah, okay, hand to face, definitely hand to face. Loop, loop. Oh, the hand is doing some funky stuff. Come up. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Come through. Sorry, chat, that I haven't been paying as much attention to. I'm just very conscientious of time. For those of you who don't know, I do usually much more chill streams in the mornings, 8:30 British time. I know that's terrible for the I know that's terrible for your US folks, and occasionally I'll stream in the evenings, bonus streams and stuff as well. I do like to chill and engage, but here I am on a mission. So trying to block this out because I really want to get you the satisfaction of seeing at least a semi. When I said Americans, I meant Americans, not United States of America. Because I'm thinking about South America too. And that's my save. Right. There we go. Coming in here. Okay, so that's blocked out there. That's blocked out there. So at the moment, these are all... actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete these blends. And... am I going to delete these blends? Yeah, I'm going to delete the blends because I don't need them drastically. The only thing that's really a moment I'm concerned about is the handing over the bottle moment. and I have a hack for that. For those of you who don't know about the old D-press bumper and then D-pad, it is a lifesaver for animation work. So between these two keyframes, I want to really insert a keyframe. Actually, do I want to insert it there? I don't think I need to insert it. What I'm going to do, and this is a bit naughty because I've got two different sets of keyframes now animating the camera, but I'm just going to do that. Okay, book. That's a bit naughty of me. Where's the camera gone? Oh, whatever. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, cool. That is a bit naughty of me. It's fine. I'm just going to put blends on these. It'll be fine. Finish our blockouts and we'll go from there. Right. If in doubt, hide janky animations. Yep, that's 100% what we do here. Okay, where is the... Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to just copy this here to here. So she's going to be stationary. She's going to go down, looky, looky, looky. And there's the eureka moment. So we're just going to copy keyframe from there to there. Come through here, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. And come through here. Where's the looky-loo up? We don't want the camera to start tracking before there. So what we probably want is to move this one here. We don't want her to look ahead of where the there we go, that's halfway through the reaction sound. Okay, right. Come through here, turn this on, I'm gonna do a quick save, and then just take a peek at the animation and see how it's coming along. And play mode.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams. Here it is. One instant weight loss tonic. Now the effect should start working instantly, but I'd recommend you wear some time. Oh, not again.
Okay. So we've got a basic animation coming together here. We've only got sort of 10 minutes to knock it out. This one here, is not doing its job, and I think I know why. We're going to get rid of these bits here. We're going to move this bit in here. Shrink that down there. Put that there. Okay, this keyframe. Oh, we forgot to kill the audio. There we go. This keyframe here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, that's the keyframe there. Right, so the drinky drink potion moment is there-ish. Do there. Doing that, and this will let us do this, it'll let us do this, and we'll just get a bit of spring into that, and that one there, and let's see if that times that generally looks okay-ish. Okay, cool. Right, so another thing that I've used this rat character before, another thing, animating the tail, if this was Pixar, or if this was high quality detailed animation, we would spend so much attention to make this tail like its own character and express so much with this tail. But newsflash, I'm not. So what we're going to do is we are going to bodge it. We're going to take a keyframe in here. We're gonna go into here, and we're going to have a tail keyframe like that. Do that. Okay, stop recording. Let's make another one of these. I probably should make it at the same, there we go, at the same thing, so I can easily bodge another one. Oh. And again, you could spend a lot of time on this, and if it was important for the scene, or like if the character was jumping or something like that, then I'd say, yeah, it's a valuable use of your time. But what we're doing here really is we're adding visual interest. I don't know if I said it at the start when I was talking about set construction, but the reason why you want all this junk in the background and you want lots of detail in the frame is especially for these little short animations that when they're uploaded to YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or wherever you're uploading them, they'll tend to be played in a looping fashion. And the thing about playing things in a looping fashion is that the let's nick this, thank you. The thing about playing things in a looping fashion is that the little bits of visual detail and noise, like this tail wag, add a bit of detail, and the stuff in the background gives something else for the eyes to focus on, and so people can sort of see it come through multiple times, and that just helps sort of sell the illusion and just sort of get through to a bit more range. Okay, so we got there. We've got a default that doesn't come on. Again, we're going to want a bit of springiness on this one. We're going to want a slow power up and a slow power down. Likewise, we're going to want a bit of springiness on this, a slow power up and a slow power down. We might need to tweak those. Here, the sweep seconds, we need to turn this up because we want each tail pose to be held a little bit longer. There we go. You'll see this trick. I love using this trick for that kind of stuff. Right. The tail's a bit too excited. So what we'll do is we'll turn up the sweep seconds. How's that? Ooh. Oh, you know what this is? We need to bring the tails there. The pause time range, hold a tail pose for like 3.3 seconds up to 7 seconds. It's still a bit energetic. There, sweep. How's that? You want it really to be like an involuntary thing that just sort of happens for the character, and then that'll work. The other thing I'll often do is I'll get like a little part of the character. So in this case, like I'll get I'll take a keyframe, and this adds nothing to like the storytelling, so to speak. But what I'll do is I'll focus in on a bit like this ear, and it's basically the same as doing a blink animation. You do that, and then just like with the blink animation, which we shoved on there, puppet logic, there we go. Basically you can just copy that there, slightly different one, make it a slightly different offset. Well, actually that one will be I don't like any of the changes I made there. then that'll make just occasionally the ear twitch, right? That it's just really handy for just random noise. Think of the signal generator as a really handy random gadget. Okay, so we've got a bit of tail wag in there. We fixed the thing there. We need to just generally add some purposeful movement to the character, but you can see how we would do that. Tom, I've got 5 minutes left, right? This is a 1 hour slot, if I recall. Just checking chat for a second. Checking chat. That's all good. Okay, I'll play it. You do. Okay, cool. Right. Let's play it once more. You guys can clearly see how you would iterate on it a bit, add some more in between the frames, tighten it up. But I'm going to advance on to export. Give it a sec. Oh, I forgot to voice acting, turn that on. So some quick things. Remember the camera stuff, remember that, remember the grade, remember global settings to turn off imps, so your imps don't show up in this. Right, okay, so then what you want to do, top tip before you go into this, because it's a problem on the PS4 thing, is you push the share button here, save a video clip, right? Because at this point you're going to have the video clip is going to be like 15 minutes or whatever you set it to. Play the scene.
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion to lose weight. Sure. Dragon's Breath, Cupid Fairies, Crushed Dreams. Here it is. One instant weight loss tonic. Now the effect should start working instantly, but I'd recommend you wear some time. Oh, not again.
Okay. So then after you've done that, immediately go in and save the video clip, right? Then Share Factory is really good for editing those, but you can also just go into where is it? Capture Gallery. You can immediately go into Capture Gallery, and in here you can go trim. Now I don't think we've got it quite down to 15 seconds. I think it was like 16 seconds or whatever. Yes, you can use the double tap, says there, for the double tap. I tend not to use that for reasons I don't want to go into now because they're a bit long. But then yeah, what you want to do is you want to find your thing, and this will also just make your life easier. I didn't put the flash in that I was telling you about. I'd quite often with these put in like a flash of white or something at the moment of like 2 seconds when the audio starts, if I was trying to sync up with TikTok audio or somewhere else where you're trying to get the audio just right. So that's one of the little tricks. And then in there's a copy to USB function, and that'll be how you get the highest quality video off of your console, right? Because then you'll be able to get high quality video off your console. Also check your settings for the PS4, because you can get different settings for that. And in your Dreams settings, I'm currently in best frame rate mode. You probably want to switch yourself to best graphics mode to get the highest quality. The other thing you can do is for your camera, for your vertical video, turn on grid snap and turn on grid snap and do a 90-degree camera rotation. There, it's not having much fun. I've got some gizmos for doing this. You can use precise mode as well. But yeah, you want to get a 90-degree rotation. 90-degree rotate all your camera frames. Do it like this, and then rotate on your phone or whatever, because you'll just get much higher quality. Don't do a vertical crop. Vertical crop will look kind of horrid. The quickest way I can find for doing a sync flash, for those of you who are interested in doing a sync flash with audio, is in your, you can use a, well, actually, yeah, let's do the quickest way. You can use a a light like this, and you can just drop down. I'm aware of the time, don't worry, we'll knock it off, and you just put down that there, animate the light on, off, turn it off by default. Then here, make sure you zoom in until you see it there, and you make sure that that is a 1 frame flash, so it's the shortest amount of time. And then
Welcome to Bubbling Brews. Potion.
what the hell? Did I set the wrong... I moved the wrong thing. Okay, I moved the wrong thing. I moved the camera. Thank you, Tap. Yeah, I made that silly mistake. But you can see how you would do a sync flash. Is there anything else I needed to address before we go through anything? Yeah, when releasing them onto the Dreamiverse for dream sharing, and I will share this one once I've polished it up a little bit and got some in-betweener frames. Make sure you save it as an audio-visual short. That is the correct category for this. And make sure at the end here, and this is very important if you're putting it in Dreams itself, you are taking a doorway gadget and you're shoving a doorway on the end here. This will really help just transition to the next thing. And don't forget that if you name the doorway, you can do that. That's a thing. And then just by default, it'll do the bokeh wipe. But you've also got the other wipes. You know, make sure you pick one that is appropriate to your thing. Then your animation will properly end and exit out. Holy hell, what is with the sun? I'm used to the mornings when this room is a nice dark dank thing. Right, last thing, doorway gadget. Make sure you put that in, otherwise your animations won't end. You need to end your animations. Export via USB, I've said that. Vertical video, I've said that. Anything else? No, I think we're good. I think we're good. I'd love to answer the questions. I'll go through some other time. You can always drop by my streams and ask me for more on this kind of stuff, and I love doing it. And I believe, Tom, correct me, but we have another stream coming up in 1 hour on this channel. And I forget, is that Siobhan and Kareem, or is that Kareem? Don't know who's in that stream. And yeah, that's all fantastico. And for now, I'll say ta-ta to you all, and see you when I see you. Bye-bye.